Hey guys, welcome back. We are looking at World of Haiku. We're looking into the third map. We've done the first two of them. I think the third one contains two missions as well, 3A and 3B. So let's look into that and see how we can solve this. This one says the greater of two evils. It says find a ZS file and cyber attack target. We can use tools like ifconfig to view the IP address, nmap for port scanning purposes, find a contract of the owners, and AZ server IP. So let's look into that. Messages. We're about to find out who's paying bit credits to get the job done. And we have an incoming message from EOS. Formerly Cyberman says she left and joined the Ronin faction. She still helps out from time to time. So previously we had an interaction with Dekera. Dekera was one of the agent who does this kind of a job for money. Now we have someone new, EOS, probably former member, who's going to help out. This network looks really secure. Gunner figured you could use some of my expertise, so on and so forth. We should use ifconfig nmap. But first, earlier you uncovered an agenda 21 IP address, which while sleuthing around the gcorp network, Rascal recorded for you. Okay, so basically we have all the notes taken by Rascal. We can refer our notes and see how they work. Try pinging and see if it is accessible. So I'm going to click on notes. I'm going to look into Rascal notes and see what Rascal has for me. So Rascal has all this information: my username, password, IP address, some of the information that we got, like dealer's IP address, agenda 21, AZS security email, OGI IP, so on and so forth. So what we need here is the agenda 21 IP. So let's ping the agenda 21 IP and see if we get a response. I also wanted to see if I'm able to restrict ping. So n is not there, -c, count is also not there. Okay, anyway, so ping doesn't support at least within this, it doesn't support other flags at this point. Let's ping it and Control-C to stop the ping. We are able to ping it. Once that is done, it says, okay, it's basically logging us into a different device called Cobalt at 192.168.1.204. It hacked into the device and we have to use the device for some reason. So it's asking us to check the network information like IP addresses, whatever network information ifconfig or IP address could provide. And then it's asking us to use nmap. Nmap is used to scan networks for active computers, open ports on the. Okay, nmap is basically a network mapper. So nmap or zenmap. Zenmap is a GUI utility of nmap. It's a really good tool to enumerate a network, see what are the open ports. It has a bunch of different flags and different ways that I can use it. One of the first thing that any security professional would use in an engagement would probably be nmap if it's a network based engagement. If you compare a network to a street, each computer is like a house and open ports are like open doors or windows. That is true. You may find a couple of open ports on each device, but we should try as many as possible. Use nmap to quickly scan and get this. Okay, ifconfig into the terminal. Let's do ifconfig. Ifconfig gives us our internal IP address. Basically, first look at the netmarks. Looks similar to IP address, doesn't it? So netmax 255.255.255.0, which looks kind of similar to an IP address, but it is not an IP address. Netmark tells us the range size of the network. So netmarks does tell us the range of the network. There could be multiple devices in a network, and the capacity of the network to hold multiple devices, that is determined by netmask. To scan the network, we need to give nmap and then the IP address to scan, so on and so forth. Okay, the 0 at the end of netmap. Okay, if we wanted to scan this IP, we would do nmap. Because there is a 0, you would do a /24. Wait, what /24 does is it's basically going to change. It's basically going to take this 192.168.1.0 and it's going to look for all the IP address like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, all the way up to 255. So in total there are 256 possibilities within this subnet, right? Hope that made sense. So let's go ahead and try that. So let's use nmap 192.168.1.0. It doesn't really have to be 0. You can also give like 2, 3, whatever, /24. It is still going to work the same, right? 0 also gives us the same result. Okay, doing that, we get a result. It says port 22 open for 1.252 and for 1.217 and 1.42, 1.51, 1.204. So there are a bunch of different devices in the network. 1.66, 1.204, all of these machines in the network, they have port 22 open in common. I see only port 22. So that's there are a lot of devices which has this SSH probably. So Rascal basically logged us into one of the machines in the network, which is 1.42 from our nmap result. So let's look into what is there within that device. Try a ping tool to make sure the network is accessible. I know this name. Okay. We're actually inside one of Agenda 21's network. So we got into Agenda 21's network. We better scrape every bit of information that we can. So let's go ahead and see what information we have. So list trash, nothing. List downloads. Okay, list downloads. So there is Trojan worms.xml. So let's move to downloads and let's read Trojan worm.xml. Okay, and this one says update list for 4/23/2049, crypto stalker, a ransomware, that works, social media, whatever. TINBA22, it's a crypto coin rancher. Morris Anaconda DDoS attack. Dragon, how do they pronounce this? Whatever it is. Adobe Smash it. So basically, there is one exploit, one is a denial of service utility, one is a crypto coin rancher, and the other one is a ransomware. So there are a bunch of really weird malwares that is listed in this XML file. Patches update available for the first 3 listed. So basically there could be a newer version for these malwares. We won't have any issue for the time being with Adobe as long as you instruct everyone to steer clear of update emails from Adobe, so on and so forth. So basically they're using these viruses, malwares to target their victims. 3 of them has updates. Adobe doesn't really require update at this point. So let's look into documents. There are 3. A couple of them is an XML file. Donation1.xml. Let's look into it. Okay, that one gave us a bit of an information. So it says status is complete. Fee. This is the amount of fee that has been paid. There is a reference ID to it. Sending funds to someone you don't know. Blah blah blah. Okay, fine. I know that name as well. Catalyst. You were able to hack. Okay, so basically this is from Catalyst. We've seen who Catalyst is before. Catalyst is one of the guys who basically do nasty job for money, like hacking into a network, selling malware and things like that. Let's do donation2.xml, and it also has something very similar. Let's move into the shared notes. There is a file that says account file AZS. I think this is the file that they're looking for, and this one contains, after going through the keylogger data, I have identified the requested account number. The account number ACS uses to make receive confidential payments with ABM, likely linked to cloaked line of microprocessors. Perhaps the key we need the key we needed to progress deeper. So we get the IP address of ACS server, and this information is obtained via keylogger. So what I'm assuming is Catalyst deployed a malware into someone's PC who is from ABM, probably ABM or AGS, whatever it is, and the malware basically had a keylogger which provided vital information, recording the keystrokes and the catalyst. And this is the information that we have out of this particular machine, at least machine 3A. So let's look into machine 3B. 3A is done now. I'm going to get into a different host device on this network. Let's see what other goodies we can find in Agenda 21 network. Alright, I'll investigate. I managed to break into another device. Let me send you there now. So basically we are logged into a different device now. So let's check who we are. Who am I? I'm Cobalt backend. Go ahead, click through the files, EOS and myself and analysm. So while we are looking into this machine, we have Rascal and EOS who are investigating the matter further as we discovered. So let's move into system. Inside system, let's list everything in documents. There is a to do .xml. So I'm going to cat the file or read the file. Run new not run. So basically they have an antivirus implemented, whatever. So it has instructions to run the antivirus, I believe. So looking into downloads, we have a couple of them: AGS report, Lengthway report. So let's move to downloads and try reading that. Okay, so this finishes one task. Company name Lendway Biotechnologies, LNW. I think I've also seen this in one of the stock sheets, stock market share sheets which we discovered earlier. The current stock evaluation is 757.32. This was one of the top, I guess. Okay, so let's read what they have to say. A small biotech corporation in the late 2020s, initially focusing their R&D into microorganism synthesis fuel to meet rising energy demands following the harsh environmental shift during the time. The springboard Lendway is being at the forefront of biotech fuel and genetic engineering, ultimately leading to substantial expansion and opening multitudes of laboratory, facilitating across the US. Crash of 41, Lendway leveraged its close relationship with its biotech Bay, a smaller biotech. Okay, whatever. Okay, so I think this is a bit of what we need to know. Of particular interest in their relatively new acquisition of state of art human to computer neural interface technology, its implementation in the creation of powerful, more sentimental AI. Using this text, it's theoretically possible to create synthetic personalities from model humans and incorporate these into AI programs. So this is more like Elon Musk, crazy stuff like Neuralink or whatever. However, insider connection has revealed potential vulnerabilities in their largest R&D department, so on. So whenever you talk about bioweapons, or prosthetics, that has the cyber capabilities which you integrate into your body and stuff like that, if there are potential vulnerabilities to it, it could be very damaging. You might have heard, I think there is a talk in Black Hat. I don't exactly remember the talk, but the talk is about this, blood glucose monitors which can be hacked via Bluetooth. Heart rate monitors. There is one guy from Johns Hopkins University, professor, who talks about how he and his team was able to hack into, heart rate monitors, the pacemakers that you have installed in your heart, so on and so forth, which is quite dangerous if they are hackable. Any advanced technology that is integrated into your body, is subjective, right? You have to look into it in terms of its use cases, so on and so forth. So this company is doing something on a similar scale, which could be devastating for any of its users if it's hacked. So let's look into agsreport.txt. agsreport.txt. Okay. AZS means Azure Star Allied Asia Ampere. The stock value is 645, so on and so forth. I wanted to look into the vulnerability pattern if there is any. Other notable vulnerabilities with their firmware include automatically installing the 2-key optimizer program, a known spyware that automatically sends system information to Azure Star the first time its OS is connected to the grid. So any of Azure Star's user, I believe this is something similar to, at least I can find a parallel between Intel management engine. If for those of you who use Intel chips, Intel products, there is Intel management engine who does this kind of a thing, which has an inbuilt spyware. They call it a security feature, but a lot of people call it from the FSF, or you know um, they call it spyware because it basically steals system information from your device and sends it to people. So these guys Azure Star, they have features which could be potentially abused as spyware. So that is 3A and 3B machines of World of Haiku. So I hope that this was informative, and hope this helps when you are solving challenges. I think at least until what we've seen now, it's more about solving the challenges in terms of the basic commands. What is nmap? What is ifconfig? What is catch? So on and so forth. Nothing very significant, nothing very difficult, at least I've faced up until this point in time. So machine is complete. We're done with 3A. Once you're done, we can look into the network that we've reached. The next one would be the fourth one. We'll be moving to the fourth one in a short. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys in another video.